Okay, it's 2 o'clock. Thanks everybody for joining us. My name is Pam Cooley, and I'm the Executive Director of the Global Carsharing Association, the CSA. And we are an industry association that supports car sharing organizations. And we do that in the context of shared mobility and shared mobility partners, and the ecosystem that supports all shared mobility. We are excited for this webinar. It's a marketplace event that because most of our members are CSOs, but a lot of our supporting members are what we call mobility partners. And they are companies and organizations that make up part of the infrastructure that support car sharing organizations. And ultimately, if car sharing grows, so do the organizations and companies that support car sharing. So we thought this would be a wonderful opportunity for our mobility partners to show their wares, show how they are supporting car sharing in the world, and give them a wider audience so we can bring more people into the CSA and direct them to the organizations that are supporting the CSA and the car sharing in general. So we invite you to check out our membership yourself. There's a number of different memberships. As a car share operator, we have ones that are mobility partners, cities are members, as well as micro-mobility and public authorities. So please consider joining yourself and make our network and our ecosystem even larger to support the car sharing organizations. Our first presenters are going to be the companies Zubie and Bosch, and I'm going to introduce both the speakers first, and then they will take over. So first, I'm going to introduce Mark Novak from Zubie. Hi, Mark. And Mark is the head of global sales and business development at Zubie and overseeing the company's sales organizations and international expansion efforts, along with marketing and customer success. Welcome, Mark. When I met you, it's like we talked a lot about mitigating mitigating problems with car sharing with insurance and a number of other things. And so I'm just really looking forward to hearing from you and what you have to say. And secondly, we have Mariana Aschel, and I was immediately drawn to her dynamic leadership, and she's the project manager of the technical lead of Bosch Automated Valet Parking, and has given 23 years of her talents to Bosch and dedicating solving problems with curiosity and positivity. And I was really drawn to your leadership as well, Mariana. So I'm really glad that you and Bosch are also collaborating with the CSA. So Mark, you're up first. We'll let you run with it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Pam, for the introduction. And yes, excited to be here today and share some of the things that are really happening within the partnership between Zubie and Bosch. So in order to get started here, we all know car share is continuing to grow. It is one of the faster sectors that are growing in the space. Just over the course of the next 5 years, it's expected to grow by $1 billion. However, even with all this expected growth, there still continues to be some challenges that are in the space. And a lot of that is really around fleet maintenance and the consistency and cleanliness. And really the one that we want to talk about, as long as there's other challenges as well around insurance and so forth. But where we really want to talk today is really around understanding where the vehicles are and especially around some of the cleanliness challenges that exist in the space today. One of the biggest things that continues to be a challenge is and will be until trends change and until there's different rules and regulations, or at least policies and procedures that are put in place, is really around smoking or vaping in vehicles. And as it stands today, most of the vehicles in car sharing do not get touched by the owners of those vehicles for an extended period of time. And it's really difficult to understand what is happening in those vehicles without the input of the actual renter or the person that's driving it giving feedback that, hey, I got into a car, it smelled bad, or it was really dirty. And a lot of times most operators rely on a sniff test, which becomes very, very challenging to really prove that something is taking place. So we're here today to really talk about some of the technology that Bosch has brought to market. And I'm going to turn it over to Mariana to share a little bit of detail around what is the technology and how does it work today.
Could everybody please mute their computers? Thank you. Right.
Perfect. I hope you can hear me.
Yep, we can.
Okay. Thank you. So before I jump into the device and the smoke detection piece, I just want to start with a brief introduction about Bosch. So Bosch is the largest automotive supplier in the world. So chances are that every vehicle that you drive or it's part of a fleet has a Bosch part, sensor, or even software running inside it. So our core business as an organization, it's really developing technology that helps, our customers in the industry to move forward. And our motto says it all. We're, developing technology for life. And, especially with collaborating with great partners like Zubie, we really want to bring this forward. So what is the product, right? So this is a all-in-one device that combines, Mark, I think you are moving a little bit faster than I, so I would actually ask you to jump one slide before. Thank you. So what is really the product, right? So this is a all-in-one in-vehicle device that combines sensors and connectivity to give operators more visibility into what's happening in their cars. So it's important to mention that it's not a camera-based device, okay? We don't have cameras with this one. It's a compact, easy to install, should be less than 15 minutes, only needs to be connected to power. And it's designed to inform events such as smoking, vaping, potential vehicle damage, and harsh driving, all in real time. Today, the focus that I will have, it's in one of the most requested features that we have, the smoke and vape detection, that it's designed by the Bosch.
Oh, just lost you. Mariana, you put you're just muted for some reason.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, so the product, it's designed and developed by our Bosch engineering team, backed by our patent technology. So next slide, Mark, if you can go. So let me show you a very real situation here. This is exactly the kind of incident that impacts customer satisfaction in the car sharing industry, in the car rental, vehicle quality, and ultimately operators' bottom line, right? So the device here helps solving this challenge. So it doesn't just detect like particles. It can differentiate between, having a cigarette smoke or a vaping by analyzing, all the particle size, the density, and the emission patterns. So during the duration here, you see on the graph here on the right side, the duration of the event, these peaks, they indicate puffs, the particle levels, background air quality. If everything meets the criteria, the system will detect and send the event notification to an operator dashboard, including a lot of context information that Mark will show more in details in the upcoming slides. So the next one, and because, our software, it's extremely precise, it avoids a lot of false positives, things from like deodorant, we call the ultimate teenage boy test, steam, dust, because we want to ensure that you have reliable information to get, customers or members accountable. So that means operators, fleet owners will get reliable information, actionable alerts that they can trust. The next slide, Mark, please. With thousands, that's where it gets really interesting, right? With thousands of vehicles that are equipped with this device, we are able to compare, the usage patterns. So we see here with car sharing fleets, we see 2 times more smoke events and harsh driving events than any car rental fleets. I would say this is expected because, in car sharing, we have a higher utilization that really depending on members reporting those issues. So our product has the intent to fill that gap by providing, objective real-time data that really will help keep vehicles safe, clean, and customer ready. If we go to the next slide, the value, that we have goes beyond this incident detection. So where we see the fleet owners can enforce accountability and capture revenue when vehicles are misused, but also on the other way around, can promote benefit programs when vehicles are treated well. And when a vehicle is equipped with a device like that, you can collect all this data to create trends and help planning, create a plan of servicing more efficiently your fleet. So in this case here, we are just giving an examples, right? Insights, what days of the week you're going to get more smoke events. What time of the day you can expect more incidents, smoke events coming. So if you have a fleet equipped, you can have all this data and really plan in a more efficient way to ensure your vehicles are always ready and safe. So in the next slide, you will see that by combining, product data insights with public data available, like the CDC here, smoking hotspot maps, operators can proactively protect the fleets, especially in high-risk areas. So Mark will now share some of the best practice and examples we've seen across the industry. But the key takeaway in this is in car sharing, everyone benefits when vehicles are kept more safer, cleaner, and available more often, right? So the timely action powered by reliable data really enables the operators to run that operations more efficiently. And obviously deliver a better experience, to members, to improve, the ROI. So that's why Bosch technology, it's in action, and especially in collaboration with great partners like Zubie. So I'll hand it over to you, Mark, so you can share that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Mariana. And, since we ended up partnering with Bosch, we hear it more and more from our current customers and even prospects that are trying out this product that it really is a game changer in terms of how they really manage their fleet. They are now getting insights into how these vehicles are being run when they're actually out on rent and their customers are actually driving it. But a lot of this technology is only powerful and useful when you have an ability to do something with that data. So in partnership with Bosch, we have pulled this data into Zubie's application. And just to note that this information that is coming in is completely digestible and shareable through an open API that anybody can subscribe to. So any technology partners are out there or any operators that own their own fleet, they don't necessarily have to log into Zubie's application to see this information and get to this data. They could access it right through Zubie's API. Or if they don't have a technology team and just want to see that data through a platform, we have that capability as well. And that's what we're going to show you today. So I've got just a short video here that'll walk you through this. And it's about 1.5 minutes.
Let's walk through how smoke detection works in the Zubie platform. When you first log in, you'll land on the live map where you can see your entire fleet in a map view with a list view on the left. When smoke is detected in a vehicle, you'll be notified in real time through the notification bell. Clicking on a notification takes you directly to a detailed incident report. Here, you'll see everything you need at a glance: the date and time of the incident, vehicle information, duration of the event, total smoke measured, background air quality, GPS location, and speed. All reports are fully downloadable and can be shared directly with customers when needed. You can set up notification preferences in your account settings, enable email notifications, or get push notifications on your mobile device. For a bigger picture, head over to the activity feed. Here, you can filter by smoke detected to see all smoking events across your fleet. Use the date range and vehicle nickname filters to zero in on exactly the data you need.
So that's a quick snapshot of exactly what this information can portray inside of Zubie's application. The real power is really with the output of this data in terms of how you can go ahead and charge the users of those vehicles based off of whether it's a smoke event, vape event. And what we're seeing across the industry is that 90% of those claims that used to be triggered based off of having physical evidence beyond just a sniff test, having photos of some type of an event taking place, were very hard to go ahead and prove. Now we have physical data and science behind this that now operators are able to collect at a 90% collection rate that these events particularly happened. But it goes a little bit beyond that. As Mariana had mentioned, these devices are extremely powerful. Not only do they tell you if a smoke or vape event happened in that vehicle, they do offer trip tracking as well. So for operators that are just using some basic tracking features and capabilities, these devices can act as either the majority or the main source of that data, or they could potentially act as a backup to data in case any other products or hardware have been tampered with by the driver as they're being out on rent. And to take it even a step further, one of the things that Zubie really prides ourselves on is really the ability to extract even more data beyond what we've talked about already. And we do that through two different mechanisms. One of them is through an OBD device. And to be clear, we do not recommend plugging this directly into the OBD. We do access data from the OBD, but the OBD port remains completely open. So the driver of that vehicle will have no idea that a device is installed in that vehicle. We have over 100,000 of these plugged into vehicles, and very rarely do they get found unless it is a professional thief or somebody that really knows what to look for. But beyond that, for certain OEMs, we do provide direct data directly from the OEM. And as these OEMs continue to deliver more powerful data, there is a point in time where these devices and hardware would not be necessary to extract additional information, such as mileage, fuel levels, diagnostic codes, oil levels, and other things that are necessary in order to maintain your fleet. So some of the best practices here, as we start to wrap up, is really around how do you reduce your risk? And as we said at the very beginning, there's a lot of different nuances, especially when people are not returning these cars to an actual employee that owns these cars. They typically get dropped in hot spots or certain areas, and then they're immediately rented back out to somebody else. So getting that getting that insight, having the ability to be more proactive versus reactive. These are just a few of the risk mitigation, operational pieces that we hear and from a lot of our current customers. And obviously, it's really around these 6 key items is, really around timeliness, transparency, having reasonable enforcement, and a few other items. The nice thing is that Zubie also provides a very simple calculator. Everybody's business is run slightly different. We have some operators that'll charge $75 per vape event, but $450 per smoking event. If you want to go ahead and take a picture of the QR code, we will be more than happy to share that as well. But this will take you to our calculator that can actually really provide more information around, well, obviously, what could the return on investment be based off of your own individual experience? And you're able to take a look through a few different scenarios in terms of how you could go ahead and charge and recoup some of these costs, because really cleaning a vehicle is timely, it's costly, and it also takes that vehicle out of service for an extended period of time. So once again, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for Mariana and Bosch for being a good partner. And, thank you, and more than happy to share more information after.
Yeah, if there are any questions, we are happy to answer that through the chat as well.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. We'll take questions at the end. So just make a note of who you want to ask a question from. We're going to move on to our next. Thank you very much, Mark and Mariana. We're going to move on to our next presenter. And this is, we're going to get Jacob Oding to come. He's representing Carvaloo, which is a wonderful organization that he's going to tell you about, a company that, and it was really fun to have you at our 2023, October 23 conference in Montreal to meet you, and I'm glad that you joined as an innovative company to the CSA. So take it away, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you. It was super fun hanging out with you there. Can't wait for Vancouver. So really good. Yeah, so thank you. Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Jacob. I'm the head of sales at Carvaloo. I've been in the company, since the beginning. So I've been with the company since our very first customer project until now, and happy to tell you about Carvaloo, what we do and how we work and how we bring innovation to the car sharing industry. We from Carvaloo are a German company specialized in AI-based damage detection. That means that we use motion data of vehicles to detect and report damages in the moment they happen, and also to automate all the connected processes, especially the claiming process. In Europe, we also offer a combined solution with our partner INVERS that also detects smoke, but today we want to focus on the damage part that Carvaloo delivers. Ever since we've started the company, we've grown into a company that is now active in more than 25 countries all over the world. As we're mainly in car sharing, of course, Europe is still our biggest market, but we're also engaged in projects in North America and also in the APAC region. And we are proud that, with our AI damage detection technology, we were able to set something like an industry standard in the car sharing industry. Our customers are not only car sharing companies, but also delivery companies, also car rental companies. So wherever we have many cars, many drivers, many different drivers, and many damages, and nobody who wants to be responsible for the damage. The biggest problem that we are solving for our customers is the problem of unreported damage. As we all know, you all probably know better than we do that unreported and undetected damage is a huge cost factor in car sharing, because it is very difficult to find out who caused the damage and to share the cost of repair with that particular person, because it's just very difficult if somebody causes damage, parks the car, walks away. Maybe they didn't even notice, but it's still a big problem. And across our customers, we learned that this can be more than 10% of the annual revenue, which in car sharing is a lot. The way we solve that problem for our customers is our damage detection AI. The heart of our damage detection AI is what we call our motion AI. The motion AI detects damage events in motion data. You see the data visualized here. Whatever happens to a vehicle and puts it in motion generates a certain pattern in the data. And our AI has been trained for more than 8 years now to identify these patterns and detect them, and let us know whenever there is a damage event and we need to take action. So whenever I open and slam a specific door on my car, or when I open and slam the trunk, a specific pattern is generated in the data, and the AI knows, okay, this was a door, this was a trunk, this was a pothole. I don't need to do anything. But it also knows what it looks like when a car parks at a supermarket parking place and hits another car or whatever obstacle, and a damage is caused. It can be very low acceleration values. The car can be moving very slow, but there can be a damage, and the AI needs to identify exactly these events. And we've been doing that on real life car sharing motion data for more than 8 years now, and this is how we also get to the precision levels that we're very proud of right now. To automate all the connected processes that I was talking about on the slide before, we've added some other AI building blocks that help us automate the process for our customer, for the car sharing operator, for them to be able to know about the damage and also claim the damage without any further manual effort. How do we do that? Our emotion AI constantly reports, the emotion AI constantly monitors the vehicle fleet. And whenever it detects a damage event, it triggers a notification to either the driver or one of the following drivers. Why do we do it like that? Because we want to enable our customers to use our technology, whether they have 10 or 100 cars in rural areas, maybe very remote areas where it takes an hour and a half to go there and see the car, or whether they have 10,000 vehicles in a city and the frequency of driver changes is just so fast that it's almost impossible to get to the car and see it. That's why we thought it may make sense to involve the users of the vehicle, because they see the car all the time. And it's also quite handy if you inform someone that you detected a damage, or if you inform someone that you detected a damage on the previous ride. Yeah. So whenever we then get feedback, these are usually pictures. Yeah. So we ask the user community for pictures of the vehicle. We receive the images and process them via image recognition AI. And the image recognition AI makes sure that we detect the damage on the pictures, compare these pictures to the last set of pictures that we have, and make sure that the damage is a new damage and not an old damage or a damage on a damage. Yeah? And only if the image AI confirms that the damage is new, we generate a damage report that can then be used to contact the responsible party. To go over the process once again, so the first input is the motion AI. It detects the damage event. The driver receives a notification, usually in the user app, in the car sharing app. So you don't receive an SMS and have to click an external link or whatever. We trigger a notification within the app. We guide the driver through the picture taking process. The images come in. The image AI detects the damage on the car, compares it to the last set of pictures that we have, yeah, so to the last baseline. And if the damage is new, we generate a report. It also works the other way around, means that if for whatever reason, the motion AI was not confident enough that a certain event was a damage, and the first time we see the damages on the pictures, the image AI triggers the motion AI to look for the corresponding event, and the result is the same. I want to show you what it looks like to the user that is asked to take the pictures. Yeah, so in this case, I am the driver. I just hit an obstacle with the car that I rented. And in that moment, a pop-up appears within my user app that says, damage event detected, please take photos before returning the car. Mm-hmm. And if I want to end my booking, I get another notification. Hey, we detected a damage event, and I'm asked to inspect the vehicle from the 4 angles, yeah, and I'm guided through the process. As most of the car sharing companies do not oblige their customers to do that, most of the car sharing companies that we know make it possible to skip that process. In that case, we just ask the next driver. I'm the next driver now. I want to unlock the vehicle. I get a notification, hey, on the previous trip, we detected the damage. Please make sure you report them so that you're not being held responsible for something that you didn't do. and I'm guided through that same process. That's how it works. And yeah, that's how customers of all size automated their damage the damage management process with our Carvaloo technology without having to send people to the vehicle to take pictures, then manually compare old pictures and new pictures, which can be a very frustrating job. We heard that that employees leave the company because they don't want to do that anymore. And this is how we automate that process and make it scalable, whether you have 1 or 10 or 100 or 10,000 vehicles.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thanks very much.
That was wonderful. What an interesting demonstration too. It's like you can see, right, how it works. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. And again, and you might want to pop in a question in the chat. There was one question, I'll just do it. So do you have tech that could be integrated into vehicles that aren't automobiles, specifically cargo bikes? That was one question that came up.
I think technically it would not be a problem. We just did not train our algorithms on cargo bikes, but it's an interesting field, I would say.
Okay, well, maybe there's a start of something good there. An expansion of ideas. Okay, so the next company that a next CSA member or mobility partner is Necture, and we have Karim Hamami, Director of Sales, who will take us through their presentation. And I just have to say that my experience of this this Necture team has been one of dedication and real smart people. It's a great combination. And Karim and I had they asked me to do a podcast recently, and we had a really good chat about car sharing and the future of car sharing. They're big collaborators. Thanks, Karim, for coming, and I'll leave it to you.
Thank you very much, Pam. And yeah, hello from Vienna to everyone. I will just share my screen. And you should see it now.
Yes,
Perfect.
we see it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super happy to be here today to share how we support car sharing, car rental, and micro mobility operators. At Necture, we turn data into real-world action. So especially over the last month, I had many discussions with operators across the mobility space. And let's say one thing became really clear. Most operators tell us the same story. So they face clear risks and recurring challenges. So that's why today I will walk you through 3 things. First, what those risks and challenges are. Second, the strategic goals they all aim for. And third, how Necture actually helps them achieve these goals. So we see 3 main categories of risk. The first is market and external environment, which actually includes factors such as economic cycles or also regulatory changes. And the second is the business model, where challenges arise from new ownership models and also tough competition. And third is operational and ecosystem, which covers, let's say, issues like infrastructure gaps, demand and supply mismatches, and ecosystem complexity. And all these risks show up in 2 big challenges, as you can see on the right. The unmet demand, so vehicles are often in the wrong place, leading to low utilization, and also suboptimal charging when it comes to EVs. So vehicles are recharged too late or block charging spots for too long, and both lead to lost revenue and higher costs at the end. And let's say there are different regulations, but in many countries, let's say, for example, Germany or Austria or even Czech Republic, operators face high fees when it comes or when vehicles actually occupy charging stations for too long. And yeah, this is something what we have actually to solve. Despite these challenges, operators work toward the same strategic goals. So let's say scalability, profitability, and the ESG impact. And especially the ESG impact is becoming super critical.
Define
Because, yeah, one operator, for example, from Italy recently told me, if you don't prove our contribution to sustainability, cities won't support us. And actually this means, or which is actually why proving sustainability is no longer optional, it's really essential. And yeah, at the end of the day, we all agree utilization is the key driver for growth. And this is exactly where Necture comes in. We translate data into real-world actions and help operators in 3 ways: automated rebalancing, predictive charging, and airport services as our 3 solutions. So with those 3 solutions, and especially when it comes to automated rebalancing, we optimize fleet performance by matching supply with demand, relocating vehicles based on idle time and using predictive demand models. This results in decreased idle times at the end, and in average 2 to 4 additional trips per vehicle, 20 to 50% revenue increase, and significantly reduced operational costs. And yeah, for predictive charging, operators gain visibility into charge availability in real time, enabling charging during low demand periods, and also ensuring timely unplugging. So this leads at the end to lower operational costs, reduced fines, higher fleet availability, and 0 additional charging effort. And yeah, last but not least, our service, airport service. There we focus on rebalancing vehicles to and from airports. There we're prioritizing charging for high demand vehicles and implementing smart scheduling to handle peak times. So as you can imagine, especially when it comes to winter or summer peak seasons or peak times. And yeah, this boosts vehicle availability, reduces parking fines, decreases operational costs, and enhances overall user experiences. And yeah, since airport parking lots are usually very expensive and too many vehicles can result in heavy fines, we ensure a well-balanced distribution at all times. And yeah, I said that those are our 3 solutions, but what makes us really special is actually that we combine this AI-driven approach with our fast, scalable StreetCrowd service. It's a 24/7 crowd-based community of over 25,000 users active in more than 15 cities actually across Europe and Americas, and all managed by our success managers. We carried out or over actually 300,000 essential vehicle operations last year. And this makes actually clear that we turn risks into opportunities and challenges into growth by ensuring seamless, scalable support for fleet operations. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. And if you want to get more information, just check out our website, reach out to me. I'm super, yeah, would be super happy to have a conversation with you and to discuss maybe a collaboration or how we can support your fleet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karim. Perfect. What a wonderful innovation, and I know how hard your team works. It's a wonderful team that you have. I'm going to move it over now to INVERS, and we have Julius Wolskinski and Scott Spence, who are going to present together on for INVERS. And Julius is the marketing manager and Scott is the business development manager. And I just have to say that INVERS has been a very big supporter of the CSA Carsharing Association and a big collaborator with us for a long time. And they've been in business for decades now and will participate in our CSA conference next fall as well. So welcome to INVERS.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Pam. It's a great panel you have here. I always enjoy, especially our friends from Carvaloo, seeing what cool technology they have since the last time we saw their demo.
Yes. Thank you for the introduction, Pam, and thank you everybody for your time. We're happy to be here. We thought, you know, a good way to tell how our technology and our solutions help people reduce risk, increase growth in their companies through stories with our customers. So we have a few of those we'd like to tell you about, but first we'll tell you really quickly a little bit about INVERS. As Pam said, INVERS, we've been around for just over 31 years now, around 30 years. We've been supplying telematics and connectivity systems to shared mobility operators for more than all over the world. We power connected fleets for Toyota Kinto, Enterprise Car Share, Hertz Flexicar, Punto, Wift, to name a few. Probably one of the keys to our success has been our endless innovation, our drive to stay on the leading edge. Our technology is developed in collaboration with our partners. It's developed from real use cases, real experiences that make impactful solutions in their bottom lines. So with that said, let's move on to our stories. We'll start with the first one here, a story from one of our customers, Wift. They are a car subscription service from Chile that offers members short-term rental vehicles through an application. They've grown very fast in just 2.5 years. They've expanded from 10 to more than 500 vehicles, and currently it's looking like there's no slowing down. Julius, a couple questions for you about Wift. The first one I would like to know, what is a big challenge mobility operators in LATAM specifically face, and how did Wift tackle them?
Right. So LATAM has a pretty big car theft issue. Chile specifically, they had almost 94,000 cars stolen last year. Stolen cars disrupt operations, lower the reliability in the customer's eyes. And so what Wift did is by adding our telematics technology, which lets their subscribers lock, unlock, and even immobilize their cars straight from the app. So immobilization, especially, you can think of it as like a super lock. Our system, the cloud box, it interrupts the key's antenna circuit independently from door locks. So even if somebody has the physical key, or even if they're very sophisticated and they're spoofing the key's signals, the car won't start unless the app turns off the immobilizer. So this makes theft way harder.
Yeah, for sure. Curious, what other impacts did some of these smart features have for Wift?
So they were able to recover 95% of stolen cars, often within just a few hours, even if a car was taken far from the city. So for comparison, the country's usual recovery rate in Chile is only 35%. Here in the US and Canada, it's about 55 to 60%. So getting to a 95% recovery rate is a really remarkable success.
Totally, for sure. It's also interesting how primarily it was using technology like telematics for security purposes. Can you tell us how they're using it for business growth?
Yeah, so they're using our technology to create like bespoke customer engagement and promotion programs with local businesses based on the location data that they get from our telematics systems. So, for example, if they see that many of their customers are driving by a specific restaurant, they might approach that restaurant and ask them if they want to offer some special discounts or promotion for Wift customers. And they're even starting to analyze driving habits for future insurance options. The insurance industry in Chile is not quite there yet, but they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, coming along. All right, let's move on to our second story, Quantum Mobility. They're down in Texas, depending on where you are in the world. For us, it's down. Quantum Mobility is a car sharing service as an amenity in buildings where people live and work. They use an app-based service so people can access a vehicle very conveniently. And it's part of a mass service that we're seeing more and more develop in urban areas. And Julius, I'm curious, how is quantum mobility meeting the demands of these people in urban areas?
So they're helping building owners offer cars as a true amenity, kind of like a gym or a rooftop deck are amenities in a building, right? So the residents get reliable shared vehicles that they can unlock and use anytime through the app. While the building developers and owners, they get to cut parking costs and offer something that fits really well with how a lot of people in cities these days want to live and how they want to move.
Interesting. As pictured there, an underground parking garage, that's where a lot of these mass services are, a lot of these residential car share operations happen. We know that cell reception is really bad in those areas. Can you tell us how Quantum is able to deliver the service in these sort of areas?
Yeah, through our Bluetooth. Bluetooth works even if there's poor or no cell signal. So residents can still unlock and access their vehicle with a tap on the app. So if their car is parked in a basement garage or in a remote wilderness location or a crowded city center, it still works with Bluetooth. So this eliminates worries about lost keys or spotty cell coverage, and it makes the whole experience reliable everywhere.
Yeah, awesome. Now, last question for you about Quantum, similar to the Wift question, how else are they using technology to keep the service running smoothly?
Yeah, so they're using it in a couple of interesting ways. First, they use real-time telematics to track vehicles, which they have used to settle toll disputes really quickly, right? And they also use it to resolve potential booking conflicts before they even happen. So, for example, if they see that a resident is too far away to be able to return their current booking on time, but another building resident has scheduled their booking right after that current one ends, they have the data and the means to send out an alert, right? That oh, it looks like the previous resident won't be able to make it on time, and that reduces conflict and friction. So for them, our technology is all about making the experience seamless and trustworthy.
Nice. Awesome. Well, let's move over to Australia for our final story. This one's about Flexicar. Flexicar is one of Australia's pioneering car sharing services, founded in 2004 in Melbourne, growing from a small pilot to a multi-city operation with 500 cars. And they have led the way in flexible urban mobility in Australia. Very interesting. So, Julius, I'm curious, what technical challenges did Flexicar face as they grew, and how did they meet those challenges?
They had a really interesting evolution of technological challenges and solutions. So first they started, like many operators, they started with RFID key cards on a 2G network. Onboarding new users this way was pretty slow, and hardware compatibility with the vehicles they wanted was tricky. So then they switched to a 3G system with pin pads, like little pin pads in the corner of the windshield. This helped to speed things up. But that system caused a lot of battery drains and cellular coverage network issues as well. So to keep evolving, they partnered with us to implement the CloudBox system, which improved battery life greatly. It expanded vehicle compatibility. And most importantly, it gave them a scalable, flexible platform on which they can build for the future. The title for our case study with them, the success story we wrote with them, is called Future Proofing Car Sharing Operations. And as a marketer, I love that title. I wish I could say I could came up with them, but it was actually Scott Hillstead, their fleet and operations lead, who first used that term, future proofing operations. I really like it, and I steal it, and I use that term all the time now.
Interesting. I would too. Um, Now, how did they use the cloud box to overcome some of their operational challenges?
Right. So you can read all the details in a case study. I believe the CSA will be sending out an email afterwards with links to it. But I'll highlight two here. So I mentioned the battery drain. So they have much better battery battery management now. Instead of having to replace 5 or 6 dead batteries on a typical Monday after a weekend, now they only need to make 1 or 2 battery replacements per week, and that's on a fleet of more than 500 vehicles now. And it also supports a diverse range of car makes and models. This allows Flexicar to offer over 20 models across 8 brands, including the latest electric models like the Polestar 2 that they have. And they know, they're confident that future vehicle models will be supported as well.
Awesome. Okay, and like the other two stories, our final question, this one's interesting. What operations can do with advanced telematics, that's what it really is about, is what opportunities can be presented, which you can develop with our technology, with your technology. So I'm curious, with Flexicar, how did they do it, Julius? What else are they using technology for?
No, Scott, I think we got a little bit confused here. I think the last question was going to be about partnership and support.
Pardon me?
No problem.
Pardon me? How about you tell us on how
Sure,
some
yeah.
technology implementation essentials such as partnership and support?
No problem. So we offer hands-on support and training. We even sent our team to Australia for in-person help during the transition from one technology to another. I think the reliability and closeness of this partnership lets Flexicar and all our other customers innovate confidently because they know support is there when needed. So, despite being many time zones away, we've heard from them that they are very happy with the timeliness and quality of our support, which is important and needed for even the most reliable technologies, really.
All right. Now my question, how else did they use technology in their operations?
Yeah, so they, sorry, I need to find it here. Sorry, Scott, now I'm going to have to apologize and say that I do not have that answer in front of me, and in the pressure of the moment, I forgot what the answer was. So,
How about you, Scott? You answer the question.
Well, I think he touched on it. We work really with them to develop their operations, understand their use case, and give them hands-on support to, leverage the technology. Every operation is very different, and some of the information and data that they're coming to is different. And so with our technology, they can not only use it to reduce risk and cut costs, but to learn about uses and trends and things. So for them, it was really big for them to learn about how to use the technology, set it up, implement it, test it for different things, and that required a lot of hands-on work from us. So that's the final story for us. I think, yeah, as Julia said, hopefully our links for some of this information will be shared with you all for in the follow-up email. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Julius or I. And thank you so much for your time. Please, send us any questions.
thanks, Scott, for saving me there. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott and Julius. And it's true. I feel like all of the companies that have joined the CSA and that are online today have really listened to what is going on in the car sharing community and to support car share operators and others as well, because they're other fleets. But I just really I really care about the companies that are joining, and so I wonder if there's any questions that might be brewing that anybody would like to ask right now, and we have a few minutes to have some questions. You can either put in the chat or you can just speak out.
Could I ask a quick question? I had asked the question of Jacob from Carvaloo a little bit earlier around cargo bike. I'd also like to query the providers of these cool services in the other direction, sort of medium duty vehicles. This is not a space that Moto is necessarily definitively getting into next year, but we do have our eye on the Bright Drop. It's a cool vehicle, and I am curious to see if there is any anticipated integration issues with vehicles of that nature yeah, curious to hear from anybody if there's limitations that you'd like to speak to, or if things like that work well. Thanks.
Medium duty vehicle means like vans.
Typically something that is classified as medium duty in North America is going to have, I don't know what the technical term is, but I know that the Chevy Bright or the GM Bright Drop fits into that category. So it's a larger vehicle. It still only has a double axle, so it's not that massive, and you don't need a specialized license for it, but it is a very, very big van. It's an electric van in this particular situation, and it is a really interesting vehicle for us, and also one that I think is going to incur damage by the very nature of its size.
If you can still recognize it as a van, then I would say it's covered. Large duty trucks are not covered. Yeah, so heavy duty trucks is something that we haven't engaged in, but vans up to the size of the biggest vans on the market is something that we cover. Yes.
Thank you.
And maybe I can jump in, Erin. Also, from a Bosch perspective, yes, we also have not only, like smoking technology with the damage, but we do have other products that will support, like fleet operations, reduce total cost of ownership, increase efficiency, like modules that will collect data from, the CAN bus, provide all that data available to increase fleet efficiency. But not only that, like I said, the smoking device and also our damage would also cover these type of vehicles as well.
Yeah, and as far as the INVERS is concerned, that wouldn't be a problem, right? If it's a four-wheeled vehicle that needs car doors locked and unlocked and immobilized and tracked, then we could definitely do that.
Thank you very much.
I think we have time for one more question if there is one. Anybody burning? Okay,
Not a question.
go.
Oh, sorry, Gloria.
No, go, Gloria. No, happy to see you there. How are you?
Good. Not a question, just a comment. Yesterday we had an issue with INVERS. We've been using INVERS for 6 years. We were looking for vehicle schematics, and apparently there was an issue with retrieving it on the app and the web version. So we called, and within an hour that was like taken care of. So I just want to highlight the incredible work that INVERS does to make sure that everything works flawlessly.
Oh,
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. You're awesome.
What an endorsement. And Gloria, I'm so glad that you showed up. Gloria's down in California and working with remote and underserved communities. So Gloria, nice to see you. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so we'll wrap it up. I just want you to know that all of you and all of the people who registered are going to get the recording, and with information of each of the presenters and the companies, so you can contact them directly with your questions. And I just want to say from the CSA, we are, again, an association that's focused on car sharing within the context of shared mobility. And we see car sharing as the anchor. Without car sharing, shared mobility would be very difficult, and we would hardly be able to get people out of their personal use vehicles. And so we see as car sharing grows, so does the ecosystem. So please come and learn more about us at the Carsharing Association, and contact me if you have any questions about joining. And keep in mind our next gathering, in-person gathering, is going to be next fall in Vancouver. So make sure you put a budget line on that for your next year's budget. And please continue to register for our webinars and share them all. If you get it, just share it. We want visibility all over the world for our Carsharing Association. And thank you again to all the presenters and the companies. We love you all, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for doing this, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.